give us a couple minutes. Is this working? Yeah? Okay. All right, welcome to the Zoning Board of Appeals for the Town of Webster. Today, July 9th, 2024. We have a total of 3 items on the agenda for tonight. When we have open public session, we will limit the time for the public to speak to 5 minutes per speaker. I have the proof of legal publication for all items here with me, so everybody has been notified, signs have gone up. Call for attendance.
Mrs. Volo,
Here.
Mr. Hauser,
Here.
Mr. Short,
Here.
Mr. Wagner,
Here.
Mr. Spampanato,
Here.
Mr. Artuso.
Here.
All right, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, this first item on our agenda tonight is 528 Lake Road, deck addition and shed.
528 Lake Road, deck addition and shed, located at 528 Lake Road. Applicant Frank and Rebecca Tibiero are requesting area variances to allow a deck extension with a front and rear setback less than what is required, and a utility shed in the front setback, which is not permitted, on a 0.5 acre parcel having SBL number 048.19-1-80, located in an R1 single-family residential district under sections 350-10 and 350-47 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
So start. Hi, my name is Ann Hansen. I'm the architect working with Rebecca and Frank on their addition and shed to their new property on 528 Lake Road. So you probably can see from the plans, the house is currently within the front setback entirely. It's very close to the road. So any modifications we do, we would actually require a variance. So here we are, looking for a variance for the deck, which is to the rear, and a shed. None of them are any closer than the house is now to the road, but they will definitely be in the front setback. We are maintaining the side and the rear setbacks. You can see on my site plan, I did kind of show as a dotted line where the setbacks are, and it's really just the front setback that we are infringing upon. So I know we had sent you some drawings. We had then added the shed, and they've been working with Josh to get that in the works here. So we're actually going to be 7'4" with the shed, if that is allowed, from the front setback, from the front property line, I'm sorry. Yes, that's all. You can see now the house is actually in front of the property line, the way that it sets now, and obviously it's grandfathered in after all these years, but I have the clients here, if you have any questions for them or for us.
In regards to the encroachment on right-of-way, is there a agreement with the county to have that house there?
I don't know.
What do you mean by an agreement with the county?
Is there a legal agreement with the county to have that portion of the house located in their right-of-way?
I don't know, the house was built in 1840. And due to the changes that happened on Lake Road, I would imagine that some of those lines were changed over the years. I know that it was originally, Lake Road was a road, and then when it was changed to a highway by the Department of Transportation, some of the setbacks were changed due to the fact that it's a highway.
Well, I'm not speaking of setbacks, I mean, the house is physically located in the right of way.
That I don't know.
You may want to check with your attorney on that. I know it sounds like something that's cumbersome, but you really legally should take care of it as soon as you can.
It's not so much something that affects our decision tonight, but it's something that you may want to have, in your possession to make sure you have
Yeah.
that. Because, again, looking at the plan, that line that goes through the front of your house is property, this front setback or so having that in hand will help you in the long run.
It may affect value and your ability to transfer the property at
That's
some
right.
future point in time.
Okay. We just bought the house a year ago, and it's changed hands. probably
Your attorney
seven-
didn't question that?
Well, no, the attorney may have addressed that in his file, and you may not be aware of it. I would check with him or her.
So the application that I had originally received, the proposed deck is a different orientation, which Josh shared with me that we've changed the orientation. The orientation has been since changed because of the septic.
Yes, I'm sorry, I didn't mention that, yes. We
Yeah,
did.
if you can talk to that a little bit, and then my other question is, the application the documentation that I have, the drawings that I have don't show any shed. So that's also something else I'd like to understand a little bit more as well.
Yeah.
Just
Go
scroll-
ahead.
Just scroll through one of the things that was sent that had the shed on
For the shed?
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually did make some fresh copies too, because there was some kind of lines on there that shouldn't have been on there, which I will hand out. The septic, we did determine what the location is of the cap, and so we kind of cut that corner out, and then I moved the shed back farther to the north so that, they would still have kind of enough depth to put a table or something there, so it did.
Can you
Sorry,
speak to the mic,
yeah.
because we need, use that to help
They,
with
they
our
have
minutes.
these already.
Oh, okay.
They
I
do.
I did actually just X the shed out so you can see exactly where the shed is. You don't have that part yet. But the shed is at 10 by 15, where it says proposed shed on the one drawing, the newer drawing.
Right.
So the shed is gonna be built directly next to the house itself?
Right.
Yes,
No space between the two?
correct.
No.
And then I was mentioning about the septic that you wanted me to say in the mic. So we did determine the cap location for the septic, and then actually took the corner out there and moved the shed, or the deck, I'm sorry, a little bit farther north, so they would have enough depth to be able to put a table and stuff like that. Because before we had more depth, that kind of squared off there, and it gave them more depth on that northwest corner, but now we're just gonna move it back a little further. Again, trying to stay as far away from the street and the front setback as we can.
How tall is the shed gonna be?
The shed?
Within limits.
Yeah, probably
What-
like,
Within
Sorry.
the proposed limits of the ordinance, because I did a deck permit application, and then they found out that we were coming for a variance for our deck, so the shed application that I did, they said that they would hear it at the same time, and I submitted all that information.
Like plans and elevations of the shed?
No, not.
Because this is the information that we have up on the screen. Was there more information than that?
Yeah, it was actually, you were scrolling through it earlier.
So in the original elevations that I submitted, it wasn't on there, because that was something added on
Okay,
since, so it's not on the original elevations, but something else.
because I went through these. I have hard copy of this. I didn't see anything in here.
It's on an old survey map that I submitted, and it has a red square on it where I wanted to.
It's up on the screen now.
So we've got the dimensions that it's a 10 by 15 shed, but we just don't have
Height,
height or,
Yeah,
or what it looks like.
yeah, I mean, it'll be, just a one-story with a, a pretty shallow roof pitch. I would think you're gonna just buy something or build.
Yeah, it's gonna be small.
Is this gonna be a pre-purchased shed, or are you gonna build it stick-built
I'm going to buy a kit.
by
and
kit?
put it together myself,
metal, wood?
preferably wood.
Okay.
I have a question about that though. So if I put it on a foundation, does that need a bearing? If I either put it on gravel or I put it on a slab?
You need a variance because it's beyond the front setback.
Okay,
So that regardless of what you put it on, it's because you're beyond the front setback
okay.
is what the issue ends up being. I mean, personally, being an architect, having a gable roof next to a house, having water run between two structures that you have no access to causes concern for future rot and, other concerns from a structural standpoint. That's beyond the purview of this board. So I would question putting it right next to your house with little to no space between the two, just so that you can maintain your residence structure.
That would-
Residence structure.
That would make sense.
Reason next to the house versus anywhere else on the half-acre plot?
Just seems to be the most convenient. That's actually, if you look on the survey map that I gave, you can see that the squared out portion
Mm-hmm.
to the right,
Mm-hmm.
there used to be a garage on the property. And sometime around 2000, between 2007 and 2012, the garage was in disrepair and they had to remove it. So that's another reason why we wanted a small shed on the property, was because the property doesn't have a garage.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
What's the exterior gonna look like? Exterior of the shed?
It'll be just whatever like a platform kit has.
We will definitely, when we do submit for the building permit, if we
Probably.
get to that, we will definitely have something, like you said, to shed water. We're not gonna have it so it's, draining back into the house. So, and we'll submit that for the building permit too. But I guess we were just, trying to get the footprint and, kind of nailed down now, if that would be allowable.
To maybe get away from the problem with the two of the eaves running into the house, maybe you could purchase a shed with a shed roof, a
Yeah,
slant roof
that
that
just
would
comes
slant
off of
away
it.
from the house.
For sure.
Yeah.
That would help mitigate the water problem.
No. Other questions from the board? No? At this point, open it up for public discussion, comment, if anybody has anything to say for or against the project? No? Bring it back to the board. Any other comments from the board? All right. Vote on seeker. So I make a motion for a type 2 action under seeker pursuant NYCRR section 617.5 of the environmental code.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All All right, motion for the variance, Corinne?
Do you want me to run through findings?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Please hold, where's my notes? The location, there is no place attached to this house where a deck could go that's not going to be in the front setback because the entire house is in the front setback. As shown on one of the architectural plans, everything to be done to the structure is well within the front setback of the house, just based on it was built in the 1800s, and Lake Road was a tiny little farm road then and had no setbacks. The applicant has made accommodations to avoid the septic tank location, which is the right thing to do and appropriate. The deck itself is not oversized. I will say it's not out of character with the neighborhood. A lot of the houses along Lake Road have decks. It's just that a lot of the houses along Lake Road are located much further back. There will be no detriment created to nearby properties. It's not going to be a line of sight issue. There's no one here from the neighborhood that's complaining about it. Excuse me. The request is not substantial. The shed itself is not oversized, and the deck is not oversized. The location of the shed is roughly where there used to be a garage many years ago, and is the most appropriate location based on the structure of the house and the structure of the lot. No adverse environmental or physical or environmental impacts to the site. And in this case, I'll say the difficulty is not self-created, since the house has been there for 180 years, and none of us are that old.
Thank God.
Can I
You
add
have-
something to that? Can-
Absolutely.
If we make a motion to approve this, can we make it that we're just approving the extension of pre-existing nonconformance rather than granted variance of 7 feet 4 inches?
I was gonna ask that, can we consider it an extension of a pre-existing non-conforming structure? Or do
obviously-
we have to?
Looking at the survey and the encroachment and the right-of-way and whatnot, I just would feel more comfortable going that route rather than giving approval for.
The variance, right.
you know,
And then-
for a
That
shed.
lives forever with the property.
Defining the extension as not coming any closer to the front property line than 7 feet, and,
Right.
You got 7
Okay.
feet 4 inches, I believe the applicant said. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
does that make sense, Josh?
What's that section, Josh, on pre-existing?
I think it's 350-94, somewhere around there.
It used to be 2251
It's been a while since we've done that.
Yeah, we had one recently.
What was that?
Well, that's what it was.
Yeah.
186-12. That's not helpful.
Yeah, 350-91.
350/91.
So you can.
You good with that?
Okay.
Just repeat it now, so they know
Yep.
exactly.
Well, we didn't, we were just doing the findings, we didn't get to the
Okay.
conditions yet.
So then, the motion would be to grant an extension to a pre-existing non-conforming structure at 528 Lake Road to allow a shed within the front setback no closer to the road than 7 feet 4 inches, or to the property line, I'm sorry, the front property line, and to allow for the addition of a 642 square foot deck to the rear of the structure, per the architectural plan dated 7/8/24, A.2 revision. What am I missing?
So it's 350/94. 350/94, not 91.
The parcel
It's
number as well, right? 350/94.
94 and 95. Okay, and that would be pursuant to Town Code Section 350-94. And does 95
Oh, no,
cover that as well, or no?
Yeah, for the
Extended
extension.
says the alternation.
It's both sections of.
All right, so we'll refer to both of them, 350-94 and 350-95
Correct.
of the Code of the Town of Webster. And also, can we limit that the height of the shed will fall within the restrictions of the code, which is a 10-foot
Mhm.
Yep,
average roof height?
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Second, anybody?
Second?
Mrs. Volo,
Aye.
Mr. Short,
Aye.
Mr. Stantonaro,
Aye.
Mr. Hausen,
Aye.
Mr. Wagner.
Aye.
You have your variance for the proposed deck and shed. You do have 1 year meaningful time for construction. You do have to get a permit for your deck to be able to complete. So congratulations and good luck.
Thank you very much.
Josh, thank you for all the back and forth. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah, really take a look at the agreement with the county for that encroachment.
Yeah, we'll have our. attorney
You'll
look at it.
save yourself a lot of headaches in the future.
Was it Curry and Curry, is that who closed it for you? Who's the attorney, the closing lawyer for you?
Stephen what?
Steve,
Oh, sorry, Stephen Wickowitz.
Oh, Steve Wickowitz? Yeah, just give him a call.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Next up, we have 857 Partridge Lane, hot tub and gazebo, located at 857 Partridge Lane. Requesting an area variance to allow a rear setback less than what is required associated with the construction of a 144 square foot accessory structure, gazebo, over a hot tub on a .4 acre parcel having SBL 064.18-1-61, located in R3 residential district. How's it going?
How's it going, Mike? Dan, you both stopped by. So I have proposed, I'm putting in a hot tub, and I'm putting a gazebo over it, and I am infringing upon, what's the number?
350-12.
That's right, and 50 feet from your rear or your back property line. I have a total of 55 feet. As you can see, as Mike and Dan were both at the house, the grading for the back of the property, there's only one section that you really could put it. We can't really put it right up next to it because the door of the patio opens up. and it would just not look proper. And there's no infringement on anybody. I have supporting paperwork for all my neighbors. I did finally get a hold of the back property neighbor guy. He was on vacation. I have it right here. The gazebo itself, I did not submit the plans for, but I have them right here. Should I bring them forward?
Yeah, give them to Josh, please. And you said you have supporting document from neighbors. I only have one neighbor. I got 827 is what I have, Woodcock Drive.
You don't have Dan and Ellen?
I don't. I'm not saying that Josh doesn't. I don't.
No, we only had one. Let's see.
Well, I'm infringing on the rear guy. That's his. Dan and Ellen, you should have, because it's not in my folder, and I submitted it, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, Dan and Ellen are not here, right? I don't see them.
So John is the neighbor to the rear? Is that correct?
John is, yeah.
John is, okay.
Dan and Ellen are, as you come into the property to the left of me.
Do you have a I'm not saying
Sure.
do you have a copy with you? Do you have a copy at home of Dan and Ellen's support?
I don't, because I submitted it.
Okay.
But
We don't-
if
we
if
don't
I can
have
get
it.
another one.
So if you could get another one, I'd like to have it on record.
Sure,
Is what it comes down to.
absolutely.
So, okay. I'm gonna give that to you, so you have that. The hot tub is sitting on,
There's gonna be a gravel pad.
Okay.
So it's gonna be 6 inches of gravel. The footers are gonna be within the 12-foot square.
Mm-hmm.
So that, as you can see with the gazebo posts, they're gonna be within inside that. And they're gonna align right to the sonotubes. And they're gonna be hurricane bracketed on.
okay. I don't have any questions. The board have any questions?
No.
I,
Big,
Your shed's gonna be 12 by 12?
It's 12 by 12, yeah.
I mean, your shed, your gazebo, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's sorry.
and, all right, my question is for Mr. Artuso. Can we not consider this a shed because it's not enclosed?
I was gonna
It isn't a shed, it's a gazebo.
It's a
it's a
gazebo.
gazebo, not a
It
shed.
doesn't really meet the definition
Okay.
of a utility shed.
Okay,
And then we don't want to preclude him from being able to get a
Being
real
able to
shed in
have
the
a shed?
future.
so it's considered, all right, so we're calling it an accessory structure because it's,
Right.
all right, okay.
I was thinking the same thing. All right, any other questions? No? At this point, open to the public. If anybody wants to speak for or against this project, please come on up. Okay, with no additional comments, I'll ask the board, any additional comments here at the board?
I know we're considering it as a accessory structure for the convenience for the applicant in case he wanted to have a shed on his property in the future. Would anyone object to putting a condition on that it will not be enclosed?
I have no objection to that.
This way it remains as a gazebo rather than a
Shed?
enclosed.
Enclosed
building.
structure
Right,
that
right.
close to the property line.
Do you have any objections to that either?
I mean, the only thing I might do is put a mesh in the back for privacy.
If it's only on one side, it's still
Yeah.
not enclosed, so.
Correct.
Okay. With that, I will vote on, let's see, I make a motion for a type 2 action under seeker pursuant to NYCRR section 617.5 of the environmental code.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Do the findings. Jennifer, you want me to take it?
I'll let you.
All right. This gazebo, I don't see it being out of character of the neighborhood. It's not gonna create detriment of the nearby properties. And we have letters from two of the neighbors, and we'll be getting a third neighbor that are that are for it, so clearly not in detriment to the nearby neighbors. It's not achievable by any other methods because of the topography of the property and due to other variances, variables on the property itself. So really the location that is being proposed is really the only location that is really viable for this. It's not substantial. It's a 12 by 12 gazebo that'll be housing a hot tub underneath. The gazebo is only being supported by 4 sonotubes, and no decking and no concrete slab is going down underneath it. No adverse physical or environmental impacts to the site. Difficulty is not self-created because of the topography of the property itself. Not an undesirable change, and like I said, it's not a significant request for the property itself. With that, let's see. I'd like to, let's see, 857 Partridge Lane, hot tub gazebo. Provide a area variance to allow a rear setback of 16 feet for a 12-foot by 12-foot open-air gazebo that will be supported by 4 sonotubes, with the condition that the gazebo will not be enclosed. The gazebo will be used to cover a hot tub on a 0.4 acre parcel having SBL 064.18-1-61, located in an R3 residential district under section 350-12 of the Code of Webster.
Second?
Mr. Short,
Aye.
Mrs. Bola,
Aye.
Mr. Wagner,
Aye.
Mr. Hauser,
Aye.
Mr. Spampanato.
Aye.
All right, you have your variance. You have 1 year of meaningful construction. Assuming, do we need a permit from,
I think it'd be
so
best to
you
have
will
it
have
on
to get a
record.
permit for the.
Yeah, Josh gave it to me. Josh is very helpful and appreciate your all time.
I think we all agree, so, so thank you. Make sure you get a permit as well.
You bet.
All
I'll
right.
submit that. Thank you.
Good luck.
Have a good day, guys.
Thank you. All right, next one.
Next.
218 Dickinson Road Garage and Porch Addition. Located at 218 Dickinson Road, applicant Stafford Smith is requesting area variances to allow a front and west side setback less than what is required associated with the construction of an approximately 416 square foot attached garage addition and a covered porch addition on a .51 acre parcel having SBL number 063.17-1-9, located in an R2 single-family residential district under section 350-11 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
Good evening. How you doing? I just want to be able to put a wraparound porch on the front and add a garage and dress up the house a little. It's kind of an eyesore. We just bought it at Christmas time last year. And we want to spruce it up, make it look nice, put a garage in there. And we're asking for just a little bit of room in the front. And a little, that's what it looks like now. And then, that's what we're trying to do. Make it look like it's, makes it look like it belongs in the area. Make it nice. I mean, the setbacks aren't, I'm still, the closest spot is 10 feet, and that's on the side porch. Other than that, we got quite a distance. on all the property lines all the way around. In Paul's drawings here, we have the actual, what it will be, the setbacks will be at the end. On the side, it's actually, it will be 10.3 feet from the property line after it's built. And on the garage side, I'll have 15.1, and I don't believe that that's not encroaching. And on the front, we'll have 54 feet from the road.
So, I think zoning is 55 feet, if I remember correctly. Is there a reason why the extra foot?
Excuse me?
The front setback, I believe, is 55 feet, if I remember correctly. I pull it
Well,
up.
Paul said that I needed a variance for a couple feet right there on the front porch, so we can
You
make
do,
that.
if it's 54, you're gonna need the variance. I guess my question is there a way that you don't need that variance?
No, because of the garage, the way that the garage is, we gotta get a man door in right there. And we'll have the gazebo.
The front setback is 60 feet, I believe.
Oh, is it 60 feet?
Yeah.
I thought I was reading 55 somewhere.
Yeah, Paul couldn't make it tonight, his wife's having a procedure.
I was reading the wrong part of the code. Sorry about that, Josh. Okay. Questions from the board?
Will this help you correct your violations on the property?
Excuse me, yes, it was just a trailer, a couple trailers. I had work trailers, and I moved them to my shop. I got a shop for that. Like I said, we just bought the property. And I put a little, like a tent up, but it's staked down properly so it won't take off and go through the neighborhood or anything like that. And that's just so that I could store stuff and not make an eyesore out there.
So the stuff that's stored inside the temporary
It'll end up
garage-
inside the garage, and it's only a golf cart right now that's in there. It's nothing really. And then I'm just gonna, as we're building, I can keep material under there until I get the garage built. I would build the garage first. That way I can keep the stuff for the porch, and then the back addition it's already under cover right there. It's not really an addition in the back. It's a porch now. It's a structure now, a clean closed structure.
You doing the construction yourself?
Yes, I've been a framer since I was 15 years old. Framed numerous houses. I did all the houses for Nick D'Angelo and a lot of different builders throughout the area. If you look on my website, it's deckcarpenter.com. You can see a lot of stuff that we're doing.
You're not intending on doing any mechanical work here as a commercial operation?
Oh, absolutely not. No, this is it's residential only.
Okay, as long as you realize that, and now that's part of the record, thank you.
Other questions?
I think the applicant answered that once the garage addition is added, then a lot of the material that's currently stored outside will be able to be put inside the garage and
There's no material yet. There's a lawnmower and
Right.
just little stuff right now.
like
But
sinks and
yeah,
whatnot.
that's what I need the space. That's why I need the garage, man.
Okay, all right.
And then after we bought the house, I obtained an office at 1120 Westridge Road, so that we have parking spaces for our commercial trailers and our stuff in an office, a showroom kind of deal, so people can pick out different railings and stuff like that.
Okay.
Other questions? Comments?
This will take care of the vehicle that's temporarily stored outside now? That'll be in the garage?
Yes,
Outside, out of mind
it's a
type thing?
66 Mustang under the cover, yes, and that'll be gone. It'll be in the garage so we could rebuild it. It's not a spot of rust on that car.
All right. At this point, I'll open it up to public comment. If anybody speak for or against. There is a 5-minute limit. Come on up. I need you to speak into the mic.
Gotta come up.
You have to go up to the podium, ma'am.
I need you to state your name and address.
Barbara Marshall, 800 Ensign Drive, Webster. And I live right around the corner, and I can see their house and property, and there's more things on their property. 2 jet skis now are sitting there. There were trailers, cars that parked on the lawn all winter. There are bags of mulch. And right now, there's all kinds of stuff sitting on the front, and the backyard also is a mess. So I wish you would clean that up.
It's all getting cleaned up, that's why I need the garage right there, so that I can do that, and I inherited a lot of that, I just bought the property at Christmas.
Okay?
I just bought the property. Dan was over there today, it wasn't a mess, we had that whole
Mr.
thing
Smith,
cleaned up.
Mr.
The whole
Smith,
yard.
you should wait and address your comments to
Okay.
the
Well, I-
board
I
rather than.
went
to
past
the
it.
Oh, I'm sorry, I.
Not a problem,
Yeah,
not a
I
problem.
went past it this afternoon, and the jet skis were sitting there. There's wood piles, and in the back, I can't see the back, but my neighbor had said, there are things all over the back. The roof has debris on the top of it, and it's very unsightly.
Okay.
And all I can think is, now they're gonna have an extra driveway, is that gonna be for more cars to be sitting in it, or
It'll be
trucks?
so nothing's on the lawn or anything like that, we'll have a garage, and then all our vehicles are brand new. And I'm
So-
talking about-
Ma'am, can you address the board,
Yeah, just address the
please?
board, please.
Oh, I'm sorry, all the vehicles
then
are
we'll-
brand new, they're 22 or newer, the jet skis are brand new, and I have a dock slip. I
Oh,
just went-
just-
Mr. Smith,
You'll get your turn back.
yeah, we're
You'll
gonna give
get-
you a chance to talk in a second.
Yeah, yeah.
Just wait.
Yep.
All right, go ahead, ma'am.
Any other comments, ma'am?
No, it doesn't make any difference if they're new cars or not. It's just any cars that are sitting there constantly. The driveway is filled with all kinds of cars. It's very unsightly if you go past there. And I went there, I looked specifically, I drive in and out of there all the time, and I have to look away because it's so distracting.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Is there any other comments from the audience?
Well, they're not speaking into the mic and they're not speaking loud enough. Yeah.
Yep, please. If you angle the mic closer. Name and address?
Ellen Santora. I live at 732 Admiralty Way, Webster.
Okay.
And I border this property entirely along the backyard fence. And there's a lot of encroachment of that property into that fence line with a lot of trash. I have pictures that I've taken, and I can give them to you. That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you. And Ellen, I believe you also sent us an email with comments as well, correct?
Yeah, I just couldn't send the pictures.
That's fine. Okay.
Well, you can give the pictures to Josh,
Yep.
and he'll give them to the code enforcement people, okay? Thank you.
Yep.
Are those violations on the applicant's property, those pictures? Is that what you just provided?
Yes.
Okay, does the applicant have those?
No.
Okay, so
We just bought the property.
So,
Let me,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
does the board wish to have information about those?
I'd like to see what the photos are.
Right, so the applicant should see the photos. If you're gonna question the applicant about those or make any rulings tonight
Based on,
that are in part, even in part based upon those photos, so they should have them.
Would you like them to see them, or?
yeah, let me see them.
Assuming you guys saw this stuff.
Mm-mm.
No, I mean, has it actually existed? Nobody saw this?
For me, everything was in the front yard, so I didn't walk around to the back.
It's early before they want it.
Yeah, it's possible.
Mr.
And if
Smith,
it's in the winter, how do they-
assume for a second that, this was gonna be approved.
These are some.
When do you wanna start this work?
I'd like to be able to do the foundation for the garage as soon as possible, as soon as I get a permit for it all.
Okay, well, I'm asking you,
I mean, none of them cars are there right now at all. That trailer is now at my office. I have a area for my work trailer. And the car was in the driveway so that I could clean out the area, my tools and stuff, and bring them to the office. Again, we just bought the property in Christmas. It was it was right at the end of the year. We just made it for the beginning of the year. It was the end of December. We bought the property, if you look it up.
so let me tell you what the concept is, okay? And, you know, I really don't wanna dig down necessarily tonight to the facts, cause it might not be the right time. But just as a general concept, the board might, I don't vote, I'm just telling you what they might be thinking, okay? As a general proposition, if there is a property that has violations upon it, they may want to reserve making a determination until the property is in compliance, and then make that decision. I don't know, and I don't wanna get into a debate right now necessarily.
We did that. Dan was over there
I'm
today.
gonna get into it anyway, I see. Okay. So, Josh, what's reflected in the photos, it may be unpleasant to the eye, but net, those appear to be code violations or not necessarily so?
No, there are active code violations on the property.
And that conclusion is being drawn from what?
Observations made by our code enforcement officer.
And that's not
Yeah.
reflected from the photos, though.
No.
At or about when?
Well, a notice and order was last issued on July 3rd.
Okay. So, Mr. Smith, here's my thinking, and you can accept it or reject it, totally up to you. You may wanna get those resolved hear me out, before you ask the board to decide on this issue. If you were to do that, you might wanna ask that it be tabled till next month, when those issues have been addressed and the code enforcement officer has reported back that you're all set and good to go.
Okay.
It may, again, I'm not voting, act unfavorably on the application if you ask the board to act before those issues are resolved. And you may say to me, hey, look, we resolved them already. Nobody on this board knows that, but the code enforcement will confirm it for us. And then lastly, I wouldn't really say this is a Fifth Amendment issue. I don't know what's gonna happen, whether the town's gonna prosecute it or not, but you could consider to just take my recommendation, work through the code resolutions without saying anything tonight, and then come back with a clean slate, so to speak, in August, and then move forward with the approval. You can take or leave, that's just a suggestion.
I'm gonna do what you suggest. I mean, that would be the smart move, right?
A lot of applicants don't respond that way, I think, to their detriment, but I think that would be
Well, that's the
really-
whole point of my whole thing is so I
Right,
can
so-
build a garage, so I can bring it back and
Right.
make it look beautiful. I mean,
Understood.
I've only owned it for 6 months.
Understood. And we, although it's not a legal requirement, we want you to be good neighbors and your neighbors will be good to you. And I'm assuming that if all those issues are addressed, they probably won't be here and your application may sail through. I don't know. but
I understand.
That's my thinking.
I understand. They're in a completely different neighborhood. Those streets aren't even touching or anywhere near them.
Right, but nevertheless.
I understand. I will
as
make
a
it-
general policy, we don't wanna give approval to properties where violations are existing, that'd be kind of
I
foolish,
understand.
right? The right hand not knowing what the left hand's doing.
I understand completely.
So are you asking us to table it until August to clear up any
Yeah,
violations?
have somebody come take a look, because everything is straightened out. It's all beautiful. Dan was there today.
Okay.
So
I was
just,
there
just
today.
for the record,
The back of it's been cleaned up considerably. But as far as the code violations, I can't answer to that because
Right, we're not
I'm not the officer.
We're not the code officer.
Well, I
We're,
understand.
No, but I guess the question that I have,
I mean, I was in the Adirondacks building a house for the whole time since that I owned this house, and I just got back. I just literally just got back 3 days ago
understood.
from building a house up on Big Moose.
when you just purchased this property in December of last year,
Yes, ma'am.
did the previous owners leave a lot of their,
There was a lot of
Stuff
stuff, there was a
that
lot of
was
stuff. I've taken away
left.
4 dumpsters so far.
okay, because I know that in the past, there had been complaints that there was a lot of stuff on
There's
this property.
4 dumpsters full of
Okay,
stuff so
all
far
right.
that I got rid of on the yard.
Okay, so you are making.
I'm trying to
an
make
effort
it beautiful.
to
I mean,
clean
I'm
it
gonna
up.
put cedar columns in. I'm gonna make it look like you don't even know it's gonna be beautiful. That's
Well,
what I'm
and-
trying to do.
And I think one of the things the applicant's trying to do is, by adding the third bay to the garage, that gives storage space to permit the things that are in the front of the house to be no longer located
Yes,
in the
as
front
well
of
as
the
driveway
house,
space.
and have that temporary structure removed because the stuff in the structure will be put away. So I don't know, I guess I won't tell the applicant to table or not to table, but if the applicant tables it until there's space to put the stuff in, where does the stuff go? Is, as far as what's in front? The
Sure.
back is cleaned up from some
again,
of
I didn't walk
this.
into the back, so I don't know. Dan, you said you were back there.
Yeah, the back's
So-
cleaned up pretty good.
And what about the front? The front was gorgeous. The front is beautiful now. I mean, we put mulch out and everything. I've been home for 3 days since I've been in Big Moose. Literally 3 days.
I mean, I guess I'll ask the board, you know, we do still have 2 outstanding violations, the side yard and the temporary structure. I'm not saying they're not resolved, we still have 2 open violations, that's all I'm saying, which I'm assuming by the 13th is when we'll be out there checking on that and getting that confirmed that it's been taken care of and they'll be gone. So I guess,
This is the chicken and the egg
Yeah.
scenario.
It is.
I agree with Corinne. I think if the applicant starts this project, the quicker it's completed, I think it'll resolve a lot of those issues. It's not to say he still can't clean up the property or reorganize it so it's more palatable to some of the neighbors.
I could be fast about building that too. I've been framing since I was a little kid. I could show you pictures. I built the houses. I had my own crew since I was 15 years old. I still got guys working for me to this day. So please, it's not even, it's just the variance for the front and the little side. It's only a little bit of area and it's gonna open up a whole big path so I can take care of all the issues, all the mess that anybody sees that there's a mess there.
I mean,
I mean, there's an unsightly shed in the back where it's facing this woman's property. I could tear that down, I could make it nice, I mean, and this is just gonna prolong me a month before I can even get a permit.
Well, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes,
so
yeah.
the board could issue an approval, I mean, if it did, and have a condition upon
Clean up.
the resolution of the compliance and upon notification of the code officers, effectuate
Well,
the order.
we could also condition that no C of O to be issued until,
Until the
compliance
temporary
is met.
structure is removed and
Right.
That
You know,
would be
compliance
great.
has-
in compliance.
Yeah.
I promise you, I'll make it beautiful, I promise you. It's gonna be gorgeous.
We hear a lot of
plans-
promises here.
It's
and-
gonna be all
and-
hardy siding on the front and cedar and a black metal roof with copper. It's gonna be gorgeous.
Gonna be shut.
I have the money to do it. I don't even need a loan.
Can I borrow some?
I guess I'm okay with moving forward if the board is okay.
Yeah,
I just,
What's gonna change between now and then? I mean,
It-
and if we put a
it's-
condition of the,
and I don't know that I would condition the building permit, but I would condition is
The
it
C of O.
the C of O is, everything has to be put away and out of the way,
Yep.
structure removed. Now, it is, I guess, potentially going to delay resolution of,
No, I'll keep cleaning. I'm not
Okay,
gonna stop
alright.
cleaning because, I mean, I want the property to be beautiful. I want people's property value to go up. I don't want it to go down.
this, when it's finished, it's going to be a very attractive house.
That's our point.
And I agree with your letter that
It's gonna be
it just- it
beautiful. I
needs to
mean,
get-
compared to what it was, I mean, if you show the two, I mean, look at that compared to the, I mean, go ahead.
No, I was
If
just
it-
gonna
just
ask, is
come to
there
the
a,
microphone.
speak in the mic, please.
is there a limit on how many vehicles can be in the, like, on the property and the driveway?
They have to
I'm
be
just
registered.
curious.
Registered.
Right, so,
Licensed and registered.
yep, okay. Well, we have 3, so I was just curious, and they're all,
You know,
Licensed and
a lot of it
registered.
is just aesthetics.
yeah.
If
Yep.
you put it in, you know, line them up, you know, rather than park it in the middle of your front lawn.
Right, and the garage, the
Right.
extra garage will make the driveway wider, which
Yeah.
will make it look nice and right,
Yeah.
like it's supposed to be, and not like, you know, a mess. That driveway will be all brand new if I can keep going, you know?
But, you know, a lot, like I say, a lot of it's aesthetics. Just line it up and make it look presentable.
We just
Make it
need
be
more
beautiful.
room. We need more room, just like in our front foyer, you wanna add to
Yeah,
it,
it's-
right?
it's on
Extend
there.
it out, just because everything, when there's not enough room, it becomes cluttered. And we just wanna resolve that.
But one thing at a time.
Yes.
We're trying.
All right. Then I'm gonna make a motion on seeker. I make a motion for a type 2 action under seeker pursuant to NYCRR section 617.5 of the environmental code.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Craig, I'm gonna let you do the honors on this one.
Okay. I got too much paper on the desk. I will say that the request will not be out of character with the neighborhood in that once this project is done, the house is going to just be significantly better aesthetically than it is right now.
Absolutely.
It's just, yeah, it's just flat.
I understand, it's a mess.
The end result will not create a detriment to nearby properties, and in fact, I think it will improve the condition for nearby properties because it's going to clean up the clutter that's around the front of the house and the side of the house, and have a very attractive house to add to the aesthetics of the neighborhood. The request is not substantial. If we're looking at the front setback, to the garage is going to be 56 feet, and to the porch will be 54 feet, where 60 feet is required. Houses within that neighborhood, they're not all right in a row, so it will not be noticeable if the garage juts out a little bit, and in fact, it will give a little bit of depth to the front of the house, which will make it, it'll just make it look better. In having the different depth, it won't look out of character, just the houses are on several different setbacks along that street. No adverse environmental or physical impacts to the site or the neighborhood. It will in fact improve the impact to the neighborhood. The difficulty is semi-self-created, semi-not self-created. The house is located where it is. The house is biased on one side of the lot more so than the other. So the house not being centered means that I need a variance for the side setback for the porch, but I do not need a side setback variance for the garage, and there will still be adequate access to the rear of the structure going around the side of the garage and still staying within the lot, because I will have 15 feet. The request is not significant. It is only 4 feet out of a 60-foot setback. What am I missing?
I think you covered it.
No, you didn't.
All right, I don't even know if I can make a motion. I would make a motion to grant an area variance at 218 Dickinson Road for front setbacks that will allow a 54-foot front setback to the construction of a front covered porch and a 56-foot front setback to the construction of a third bay onto the garage where 60 feet is required, and additionally a 10-foot west side setback for a covered porch addition to a house where 15 feet is required, on a .51 acre parcel with SBL number 063.17-1-9, located in an R3 single-family residential district under section 350-11 of the Code of the Town of Webster.
R2.
R2, yeah.
Did I not say R2?
You
I'm
said
sorry.
R3.
R2. And I would condition it that the C of O for the garage would not be issued until the temporary structure is removed and the material that's currently outside of the garages can then be put away,
Garage and porch.
and porch.
Was there any code violations? be
And that any code
alleviated?
violations will be remedied.
Second.
Mrs. Bola,
Aye.
Mr. Short,
Aye.
Mr. Spampanato,
Aye.
Mr. Hausen,
Aye.
Mr. Wagner.
Aye.
You have your variances. You have 1 year of meaningful construction to be able to get it complete. You do need a approval for the building permit. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, we have 3 sets of minutes to approve this evening. I will start with, let's make sure we have the right personnel. I will make a motion for the approval of the April 16th, 2024 minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. I will make a motion. I have enough people for that one. I will make a motion to approve the May 14th, 2024 meeting minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And I will make a motion to approve the June 11th, 2024 minutes.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. We are caught up on our paperwork.
All right. That concludes our zoning board meeting on July 9th. Thank you, everybody.
Excuse me, can I'm here for, one also for 1039 Fawnwood Drive.
Yes, that was later determined that you actually don't need a variance.
Oh, wonderful.
There were special setbacks that were given to that development,
Okay.
and I believe you are meeting the 50-foot rear setback, because I think you're proposing to be 45,
Yeah,
right?
I thought so, but,
Or
yeah. So you guys
55.
caught that and
Yes.
beautiful.
I apologize that that wasn't
okay.
communicated to you.
So we're good to go?
You are good to go.
We can apply for
Proceed
permits?
with the building permit.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Yep.
Thank you.
And our next meeting is
August
August something.
August 10th.
I know I'm not ready to
13th?
acknowledge August.